Hello, my name is Mrs. Poe, and today we're going to be working in Unit 1, Extending Whole Number Operation, Lesson 1. Today our objective is, we are going to review adding and subtracting of whole numbers. At the end of this lesson, you will solve an addition and subtraction word problem and answer the question, what are important things to remember when adding and subtracting greater numbers? You're going to need your student journal today, so please have that out and ready. Some important vocabulary we're going to be using today are the words sum, difference, and standard algorithm. For more practice with those vocabulary words, visit the URL located at the bottom of the screen. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. For today, I would like for you to get out your student journal and copy the addition and subtraction circle maps you see in your journal. Don't forget to add the title and the date. Next, I would like you to try to remember as many things as possible as you can about addition and subtraction from what you've previously learned in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Go ahead and pause the video and stop and jot now. Okay, here are some ideas you may have come up with. You may have remembered that addition is all about joining and combining to find a total, that an addend plus an addend equals a sum. For subtraction, you may have remembered that it's all about comparing or taking away and finding how many are left over. You may have remembered that a minuend minus a subtrahend equals a difference. Pause the video to add any of those ideas into your journal. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. What I'd like for you to do now is to read the problem you see on the screen. When you're finished reading the problem, complete the statement in your journal. Go ahead and write, I think this is a addition or subtraction problem because. Go ahead and pause the video to read and stop and jot now. Okay, if you thought this was an addition problem, you would be correct. This problem is all about finding the total number of 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders that are going to receive one prize at field day. Okay, before we begin adding, I would like to remind you some important things to remember when adding. Number 1. Line up place values correctly. Number 2, write neatly. Number 3, begin adding with the ones place. And number 4, regroup above place values, and don't forget to add the numbers you regroup. Pause the video to copy those ideas in your journal now. Now I would like for you to watch me as I solve the problem. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and add the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. I am going to make sure I line up my place value correctly. I'm going to group my 3 digits with my 3 digit and put my 2 digit on the bottom. Now I could put the 2 digit in the middle, but it looks a lot better whenever we have the similar digits grouped together. I also made sure to write nice and neatly so I can read my handwriting. Now I'm going to begin adding with my ones place. 9 ones plus 3 ones plus 6 ones equals 22 ones. So I'm going to go ahead and regroup 2 tens, 2 ones. Now I'm going to move to my tens place. 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12, making sure not to forget the 2. 12 tens. I'm going to regroup as to 100 and 2 tens. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, so I have 3 hundreds. So there you go. Now we know that we have 322 students who are going to receive prizes at field day. Now I would like for you to read the problem below. Go ahead and pause the screen to read now. Okay, now I'm going to read you a statement about the problem. This is a multi-step problem. Do you agree or disagree? If possible, discuss with a parent or partner. Go ahead and pause the video to think or discuss now. Okay, if you agreed with this statement, you would be correct. In this problem, you're not only going to be working with the number of students, but you're also going to be working with the number of prizes. That's definitely going to require more than 2 steps. Let's move to statement number 2. To solve this problem, you first need to multiply 4 times 100 and then add 119, 96, 107 to 400. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? If possible, discuss with a parent or partner. Go ahead and pause the video to think or discuss now. Okay, for this problem, if you disagreed with the statement, you would be correct. For this problem, yes, we would need to find the total number of prizes, but instead of adding the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, we would need to subtract to find how many are left over after each student receives one prize. Okay, before we begin subtracting, I want to remind you some important things to remember when subtracting. Number 1, it's important to line up our place values correctly. Number 2, to begin subtracting in the ones place. And number 3, regroup in the correct order, one place value at a time. Go ahead and pause the video to copy these ideas in your journal so you can refer back to them later. Okay, now it's your turn. I would like for you to take 5 minutes to solve the problem. Be sure to refer back to the notes in your journal. Okay, let's solve the problem together to check your work. First, we need to figure out the total number of prizes. Okay, the problem says there are 4 cases with 100 prizes, so that would equal 400 prizes. Next, we need to add the total number of 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Okay, 9 plus 7 plus 6 is 22 ones. Regroup. 1 plus 9 plus 2 is 12 tens. Regroup. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 322 students. Next, we need to take away the total number of students from the total number of prizes, making sure to line up our place values correctly and to write neatly. Let's begin subtracting in our ones place. If I have 0 ones minus 2 ones, I would know that's not possible. So what I would need to do is regroup if I have any tens. Since I don't have any tens, then I need to regroup with my hundreds. Okay, I'm going to take one of my hundreds away and regroup it as 10 tens. Now that I have 10 tens, I can regroup one of my tens by taking one away, and now I have 9 tens as 10 ones. Now let's go ahead and subtract. 10 ones minus 2 ones is 8 ones, 9 tens minus 2 tens is 7 tens, and 3 hundreds minus 3 hundreds is no hundreds. Now I know I have 78 prizes left over. Okay, students, so this is just one way to solve the problem. There's actually a couple of other ways you could have solved this problem. You may have decided to take away the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, one group away at a time. That just takes a little bit more steps, but it would still get you 78 prizes in the end. Today we used the standard algorithm to solve the problem. You may have used a different way to subtract. But if you got 78 as an answer, then we know that you solved it correctly. What I'd like for you to do is to go ahead and pause the video to copy this way in your journal. That way you can reference it back for future use. Go ahead and pause the video to do that now. So today we worked with smaller numbers in our examples of the problems we solved today. What I'd like for you to do is use the same steps to work with some greater 5th grade numbers. What I want you to do is visit each one of these websites and play each game for 5 minutes. Okay, all you need to do is just type or copy these URLs into your web browser, and you can go ahead and pause the video and play the game now. Remember, 5 minutes per each game. Okay, so wrapping up, today we learned lining up place value is important when adding and subtracting numbers. Writing neatly is important when adding and subtracting numbers. And making sure to use correct regrouping is important when adding and subtracting numbers. For your exit ticket today I want you to answer the question, what are important things to remember when adding and subtracting greater numbers? I want you to solve a problem that's very similar to the one we did in class, and also solve a STAR practice release question as well. Go ahead and submit this assignment into your Google Classroom. Thank you so much for your participation today, and I look forward to working with you soon.